Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Momma Jo's Kitchen, or welcome back. I am so glad that you are here. My voice is still rough, so continue to bear with me. I do go to the doctor along with my mother on Friday, so hopefully they'll have some good news. Hopefully her infection is clearing up, and maybe she can find something that'll help me with my voice and make sure I don't have, maybe walking pneumonia or something like that. Because it's been over a month, and I should be well. I should be back to normal. Okay, now what I have for you today. Have you ever heard of Bolognese sauce? Well, Michael loves spaghetti sauce, and it's even better if you turn it into Bolognese sauce, which is much like spaghetti sauce, except, depending on what kind of meat you use. We're going to use ground chuck because that's the meat that we like. You can take ground chuck steak and you can cut it up really small and use that. You could use ground pork, or you could do a combination of ground pork, ground beef, whatever you like. But first we have to start with sauteing our vegetables. That's what makes this sauce next level, in my opinion. So my pan is hot here, and I have some extra virgin olive oil, and I'm just going to put some in the bottom here, maybe a tablespoon. It might have been a little over a tablespoon. And what you want to do is, I had those matchstick carrots in the refrigerator, and I just kind of lined them up on my cutting board, and I chopped them up, diced them really tiny. You want this to be small. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute my carrots, my celery, and my onion because I want to soften them. My husband does not like chunks of onion. He likes the taste of onion, but he doesn't like chunks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute them, get them soft, and then I'm going to put them in my little mini KitchenAid processor. But if you don't mind the little chunks, you can skip that step. But let me get the carrots in here to get them started. That was a half a cup of finely diced carrots, matchstick carrots, and this is one stalk of celery chopped really fine. And then I'm going to get this is one small onion chopped really fine. Now, I do have 3 cloves of garlic, but we're going to wait before we add that in. Let me see where I always forget everything out, and then I forget to get I don't want to scratch my pan up. Oh, it's in the sink, the dish drainer. There we go. Now let me tell you, this would really be ideal to make and put in your slow cooker, and because the sauce is even better if you slow cook it. But I didn't have time this morning. I had to go to the store for my mom. She needed some things, and our pets needed a few items, so I had to run to the store. So I'm going to try to throw this together on the stovetop and have it ready so that when Michael comes home, it'll be done. Now, the pasta that I'm not going to cook, because most of you know how to cook pasta. This is great with fettuccine noodles, egg noodles. I'm going to use thin spaghetti noodles because that's what I just happen to have on hand. This would probably even be great on macaroni noodles. So be sure you use, whatever pasta that you like. Now there are a few other ingredients that's optional in this. And we're going to talk about that. Like I said, when I get this where I want it, I will add the garlic and cook the garlic, which I could probably get ready to do that. And then after I get it nice and pureed, I'm going to put I got 2 pounds of ground chuck. That's going to, after I take this out, I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to brown that, and I'm going to drain off, all the grease and everything, and then we'll add all the other stuff. We'll talk about those ingredients. Sorry about that, folks. I have a habit, when you're cooking, do you have a habit of like tapping the side of your pan to try to get the things off? Okay, so I know y'all don't want to watch me do this part. I'm going to get ready to add the garlic. And when I get everything where I want it, I'm going to get it processed in here, okay, in the food processor. And I'm going to get my ground chuck over here, and I'm going to get it browned, and I'm going to get it drained. I will bring you back when we go to add everything together. So we'll be right back. Okay, folks, we are back. So let me pick up where we left off. I think I said as soon as I sauteed the onions, the celery, and carrots, and then I added the garlic cloves, and then I put them in this little mini chopper, and it wasn't getting them like where I wanted. So what I did was, because you need some kind of liquid, you need it for it to all blend together. So I already have reserved here was about 3/4 cup of beef broth that we're going to use in this recipe anyway. So I just poured a little bit of this in there, and now I have a nice little paste. And meantime, while this was done, I took all of it out of here, of course, and I took my ground chuck, and as you can see in here, it's all browned and it's been drained off. Here's the leftover grease. Now what I do is I let this cool off, and I stick it in the refrigerator to let it solidify, and I will take this out after it gets solid, and I will dump it out there for the animals to eat, especially in the wintertime. Even birds will eat that when they're hungry enough and they're looking for food, so that's just something to keep in mind, because if you pour it out on the ground now, it's just going to go straight into the ground. Okay, so I don't season my meat while I'm frying it, and one of the reasons is because we're going to add all the seasonings to the sauce, but when you drain off your grease, you're going to lose a lot of your seasonings. So that's one of the reasons why I don't do that. So I'm going to add that paste that I have made out of the celery, carrots, and onions, and beef broth. This is one of the things, the longer you cook it, the better it seems to taste, in my opinion. It even tastes better the very next day. But knowing Michael, he's going to want to demolish it. I'm going to try to see if I can get my mother to eat a little too. She's slowly starting to get a little bit of an appetite back. Okay, now let's start adding some other ingredients. I have here, it looks like a 26.46 strained tomatoes. It's basically just like a sauce, like a tomato sauce. Now you could do this with crushed tomatoes or whole tomatoes, and if you had the time to like slow cook. But I don't recommend that you use diced tomatoes. You know, they actually let me get this stirred in here. Because I also got my stove turned down a little bit now. What was I going to say? Oh, I don't recommend like diced tomatoes because they put something when they can it so that the tomatoes will not break down when you're cooking it. Now, if you like chunks, you know, you could use it then, but we prefer a smooth sauce. Okay, so we're going to add some other things to this. I'm going to add the rest of that beef broth. I don't know, I feel like those vegetables, they just do something to the sauce that makes them taste extra good. Now, I know there'll be some people out there saying, no way would I ever add sugar to my sauce. I have about a tablespoon of light brown sugar. I do that because I feel like tomatoes are just really tart on the salty tart side. And this kind of evens the acidity to me. So, you know, if you don't want to add it, you know, you don't. But I also think that it just, you know, gives a little extra something. So I'm going to stir that in to break that up as it's heating. I have some tomato paste. I'm trying to see where my teaspoon went to. I've got a tablespoon here. Well, since I'm going to I don't want to dirty up another teaspoon, let me go ahead and grab some, excuse me, Italian seasoning. I got about a teaspoon here. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. You could put more in if you like it. You could add oregano, basil, but you know, you have all that in the Italian seasoning. Now I'm going to dirty up my teaspoon with some tomato paste. I'm probably going to put just like a rounded teaspoonful, because this is double concentrated. I don't like to use the other one because it's like once you open it, unless you put it in something and freeze it, I feel like it goes to waste. All right, this is optional. I'm going to turn it down because I want to slow cook this. I'm just going to, you know, keep this slow cooking, and I will put a lid on it here in a little bit, and I will get the pasta ready. If you like it a little spice, you can put a little in. I'm only going to put, because I want my mom to eat it, I have 1/4 of a teaspoon. Might be a little shy. Now, if you don't want to put that in there, you don't have to. Okay, we got a couple more things. because I didn't have time to cook it from, you know, from the very beginning and slow cook it. Like I said, this is better, like I said, the longer that you have time to do it. That tomato paste, make sure you break your tomato paste up because it'll sometimes sit there in a clump. Is I had this up in the cabinet, roasted garlic sauce. And it says no sugar added, no preservatives, and non-GMO. I'm going to put that in. I was going to say, it seemed like it was pretty thick at first. Now, I don't want to add it quite yet. Usually you have to add a little water, but that's pretty clean in there. Okay. Let me get a spoon, and I'm going to give it a little taste and see if it needs any salt and pepper. We still have a couple more things to add, but I don't want to add it quite yet. I want to give it time to I think it needs some salt. But see, that's where you got to be careful adding salt, because right before you go to finish it off, when you're ready to serve it, it's optional if you want to add a little Parmesan cheese. If you have some fresh Parmesan cheese, you can put it in there, or you could just serve it right on top. That's optional. I do have Parmesan cheese, but it's not, you know, it's just the kind in the jar. We will add a little secret ingredient out here is to add a little bit of butter. And we will do that. We could add some pepper to this. I think I will go ahead and add some pepper. I think I'm just going to do, I need to refill this. I think that's a half. Yeah, that was a half. And I do think it needs a little salt. But like I said, go light on the salt, especially since I'm going to be adding a little bit of butter and a little bit of the whipping. That was a half. Okay. Let me get that stirred in. So I'm going to hold off adding those couple things. There, now it tastes really good. I'm going to put the lid on it. I will bring you back when I go to add those other things. I'm going to let this slow cook. Now, come back every now and then and stir it. It should be fine, especially if you have it on low. I've got it on the lowest setting. And I'm going to get my water ready for my noodles and stuff and get all that ready. And Michael is going to be happy to give you a taste test when he gets home. So we will be back. I wanted y'all to see the sauce. I have not added the butter or the heavy cream yet, but I'm getting ready to, because my noodles are almost done. And I tasted it, and it has a really good flavor. And I think I wanted to let you all know also, when I was sauteing the celery, carrots, and onions, before I added the cloves, I noticed it was a little on the dry side. So I did add just a little bit more olive oil. And then I added my garlic cloves, chopped garlic cloves, before I put it in the processor. So this is a pretty smooth, very meaty sauce that's going to go over go over the noodles. And like I said, essentially what, we'll stir this so y'all can see. It's kind of on a thick side, see. It's very meaty. And I'm going to go ahead and add just 1 tablespoon. I'm just going to show you here. I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of butter in there. And I'm probably going to put just a little bit, maybe 1/4 cup of heavy cream in there. And that sauce is pretty much going to be finished. Now you could taste it after that and see if it needs any more salt or anything. But I think it's just right. And like I said, the noodles has got a couple more minutes on the stove and it'll be done. And Michael will give you a taste test, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed watching this video.
How you doing, YouTube? Here to taste test the Bolognese meat sauce over spaghetti noodles. We're just gonna dig right in on that bad boy. Rich, flavorful, a little sweet. Delicious. 2 thumbs up. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make you some of this. Come back and check out all Momma Jo's videos. Get you some more goodness. Thank you. Good night.